All right, so today we are really diving deep
Okay.
into the life and legacy of Siva Swamigal, who's this really incredible figure in recent spiritual history.
Right.
And he's considered a Siddha. And, that refers to a whole lineage of enlightened beings, specifically in the South Indian mystical tradition.
Yeah.
And the sources that you shared about him were really interesting to me.
Yeah.
What really stood out to me was this idea of impact
Right.
that he had on people, even through the smallest actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm hoping we can explore that a little bit today.
Okay.
What exactly made Siva Swamigal so revered? And, what can we learn from his life and the legacy that he's left behind?
Yeah, that's a really great question.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that shines through in a lot of the material that you've gathered.
Mm-hmm.
So to understand Siva Swamigal, you kind of have to understand the context of Siddhas.
Okay.
These weren't, just scholars or renunciates. They were mystics, yogis. Okay.
Oftentimes alchemists who sought and embodied a direct experience of the divine.
Yeah.
And that often manifested in really unconventional ways, which you see with Siva Swamigal.
Right. So the sources mentioned that he was born in Saranai in 1926.
Yeah.
But he spent something like over 40 years at the Chidambaram temple before his passing in 2008.
Right.
Now, Chidambaram isn't just any temple, right?
No.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It's considered one of the Panchabhuta stalams, representing the element of space, or akasha.
Okay.
It's a place of immense spiritual energy,
Okay.
like a vortex.
Wow.
And it's drawn Siddhas for centuries.
Wow.
So for him to spend so much of his life there is significant.
Yeah, it's like he was drawn to the heart of this powerful energy.
Right.
But what I found really fascinating is that he wasn't just meditating in isolation. He was actively engaging with people.
Right.
There's this detail about him distributing buttermilk during like the scorching summers. Yeah.
It seems so simple, but yet it was so impactful.
Yeah, and I think that really speaks to this key aspect of the Siddha tradition, which is compassion as an embodiment of enlightenment.
Okay.
It's not just about personal liberation, right?
Right.
It's about sharing that realization with others.
Okay.
That simple act of offering, cool buttermilk in the heat is a perfect example.
Yeah.
It's about alleviating suffering, even in a small way.
And wasn't just the buttermilk.
Right.
He also organized like regular annadanam, the offering of food near the temple.
Right.
Was that also tied to this idea of compassionate action?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Annadanam is super deeply ingrained in Hindu tradition,
Right.
but it goes beyond just like feeding people, right?
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the divine in everyone, offering nourishment with respect and love. So, Siva Swamigal's dedication to this practice really speaks volumes about his commitment to serving others.
What struck me is how his acts of service seem to really transcend boundaries.
Yeah.
The sources mention people of different religions, castes, all different backgrounds were just drawn to him.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because true compassion has a universal language.
Okay.
When someone acts selflessly with genuine care for others, it resonates on a deeper level beyond any social or religious divisions. And Siva Swamigal really embodied that.
So after his passing in 2008, his physical form was preserved in Samadhi at Siva Adhistanam.
Right.
Could you explain what that means and
Yeah.
why it's significant?
So Samadhi is this state of profound meditative absorption.
Okay.
And it's often associated with the final conscious exit of an enlightened being. So preserving the body in this state is a way of honoring their spiritual attainment.
Okay.
And it also allows for their energy to continue to kind of benefit others. It's a testament to the reverence he inspired.
And there's this really interesting detail. His body is seated facing north with a banalinga placed on top.
Right.
And the sources mention that this is to radiate his grace.
Yeah.
What's the symbolism there?
So facing north is really significant in yogic traditions. It's associated with Mount Meru, which is considered the cosmic axis.
Okay.
And the Banalinga is a form of Shiva Linga, representing the formless divine.
Okay.
So it's like he's eternally aligned with that cosmic energy, radiating it outwards.
And his legacy continues, right?
Yes, absolutely.
His disciples conduct monthly annadanam and an annual guru puja in his honor.
Yeah.
Like his impact is still rippling outward even today.
Exactly. That's the power of carrying forward the teachings and the practices of these figures. It ensures that their wisdom and compassion continue to inspire and uplift others.
So we've gotten this glimpse into the life of Shiva Swamigal, a Siddha who really embodied compassion and whose simple acts touched countless lives.
Right. And it's a good reminder that even in a world that can feel very focused on complexity, profound impact can come from the simple acts of genuine service and devotion.
What really resonates with me is that he found enlightenment not by retreating from the world, but by engaging with it.
Yeah.
Serving others. It makes you think, how can we incorporate that spirit of selfless service into our own lives?
Right.
Even in small ways, those actions can create ripples of positive change.
Absolutely.
So that's something to think about.
Definitely. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me for this deep dive into the life of Siva Swamigal.
It was a pleasure.